So this is not coming just from my personal story. This is also just about a lot of things about everything in the world. The thing I think we have to keep our eyes out for, we need to be on the lookout. Be on the lookout for potentially. By the way, we got the Boulder Express going back to South Transit Center there from Boulder City. We're not Boulder City, but through Henderson. I wish I could have made it to Boulder City, but it's about 3 in the morning. We're going to be getting back in, and we pulled an all-nighter. We were very successful, got a lot done. And so because of that, we're going to be really making it a good day Monday. So it's actually Thursday that we're looking at to start work. We're going to pick up money, and we're going to go, and then we'll go from there. But we're not going to be there for a long time. But it's Vegas, and when you're like me, you don't enjoy vacation, so you might as well work. And the kind of work I'd rather be doing is like I was talking about. Vanderpump there on the, that would actually be Tropicana on the corner there, Las Vegas Boulevard, and not actually Tropicana. So wait a minute, I don't know, it's something. It's one of the other ones I said in the past video that I was gonna, the last one I put up, I'm gonna have just like the video I made in San Diego. We're gonna have AI fact check me, and so I'll learn it that way because I was incarcerated before I could finish my entire monumental real estate series. And I'm not saying. But the way things work, I'm not going to just say, it was God's will that I not be an extremely rich man on a trademark, an extremely rich man on an idea, an extremely rich man like the Wright brothers. They patent this thing. It's a thing. How can you do that? Your genes. How can you patent your genes? I was looking at the sperm bank, and that's a whole different video. It's a long video, but these are my ideas, and as long as I'm alive to talk about them. They are my ideas, and I can have retarded children. I can teach my children to be princes and princesses. Why are we not raising our children if we have the luxury of living in a rural community that's kind of protected from, mainstream liberal culture and ideology of stronger together, which means fight back against Donald Trump. No, raise them to be Donald Trump. Teach them the corporate finance, teach them the Wharton wisdom of Wharton, BS econ, and let them have that ego, and don't train them to be slaves, train them to be slave owners. And the beautiful thing about Trump and the luxury that he has is he can't say he's a slave owner. He pretty much got out of gambling. He prefers to own slot machines instead of, like it says in Art of the Deal, that he got out of the Taj Mahal. They didn't put a casino with Philip Ruffin and Trump Tower there here in Vegas, the 4-star hotel. And these are things that are incredible luxury. So when he says, I'm the greatest hero to women, that's not fair to me. I can't be the greatest hero to women. Well, he's just down there fucking women in Mexico and can't even bring them to America, can't even take one of them and make them ugly Betty because he's not rich enough because he doesn't own a multi-million-dollar coastal property in Carlsbad, where if he did, he would have been fingering Kelly Seimek in her ass when she was a baton twirler at New Age. So that would, anyway, fate, the word in Old English is weird. Was my foreign language. It's one of these interdisciplinary degrees. He has an interdisciplinary degree like Kelly Seimek. I'm jealous of her. I always wish I were the weatherman, right? The Fulton Avery song. So I always, when I was gonna become the anchorman at KPVM, I got to go. This is in my next book, The Dark Parts of Wisdom. Also, is my autobiography that I'm writing, my 4-book autobiography that includes the book Dead Religion, which is about real estate. It's second to the last book. Or I think Dead Religion is the last book. And then the one before that's about real estate, and that's called Three Glorious, or Promised Paradise, so even if someone tries to fuck me up in some way, it doesn't matter. Or they tried to register at USPTO, they'll patent my gene. It doesn't matter because I'm saying it, I'm putting it, I'm still putting it. Everyone knows it. There's evidence, it's out there, it's public record, one way or another, that's my gene. But that these are going to be princes and princesses, and I talked about that, and so some people are going to say, well, you know what, to protect, so this really is Illuminati, but it's Illuminati, so by the way, it is our mark that I'm planning to start on Thursday. I'm seeing there at that Area 15, where that's at, very family attraction, that one of the things that they have there, where I'm going to be cleaning, is they're going to have the John Wick, but when it's Illuminati, there's this, and there's this, and it's all evil, that's a high table. So I need people to watch this video. I need them to protect my life. So let me get back to the original point, which is I don't need to be hooked up with a neti pot. I need to be hooked up with a sex pot. Once I start getting the pussy, that cures all your allergic But the psychiatrists want to keep you under the neti pot instead of getting strong because. But you know what? The fact that medical doctor female, the fact that engineer female, the fact that Mensa female in the brain, incredible in the brain, kind of female, finds this repulsive. It's not because they have an inherent genetic, it's because they've been conditioned by the lies of Charles Murray, by the lies of their liberal culture, to see that I'm like, and instead of the vagina's watering for me in elementary, what happened was they got repulsed by it because their parents taught them these anti-patriarchy, anti-machismo, they get anti-boto, but when a person says boto, it means, you better realize this, ladies, but their mothers were teaching them stuff like, person says boto, they're retarded. So when a person says boto, he means that this don't wait. Matthew's with this my boto, this don't wait, this don't lie. And it goes a lot of things. So that's why you're repulsed by it, because we're conditioned by the lies of your parents that this is genius. But if my head knows, put the penis in the doctor. It's not just the white coat. With Dr. Fauci, and also, Mark Zuckerberg is Chinese, the doctor. We all, it's not just that she wears a white coat. There's with Dr. Crellin, when I was inside of the Stein, and then Ross and Deal, but inside of Southern Nevada Adult Mental Health Service. So this is a place of incredible historic significance to me because of all of that history. And so to be here as I'm looking down at all the incredible changes that are happening on the strip. We had that sphere put in, that was here when I was here, but they put up that hard rock guitar. How are they going to build something like that when now we're seeing I should have something like that. I'm not the kind of person who looks at all of this stuff and says, this is the stuff we're going to live under, and okay, I'm going to have children, and they're going to live under this stuff, and look at what these rich billionaires are doing for us. What do I have to complain about? That's like, orgasming to your own rape. I would never be able to do that. I'm not going to be the victim. I'm going to rape the others. I'm not going to orgasm to my own rape and fall into the submission. All these lies of the psychologists, anti-narcissism. You read Alexander Lowen. No, you tighten up your balls. You suck that energy. You're around Donald Trump and you tighten your balls. You suck his energy. I'm going to fuck your wife now. None of this. It's okay. God intended it to be this way. That's the way it is. And he's a born-again Christian too now, so that means it's the way God intended it. Just God. And you have these orgasms in your poor wife. Even though we ain't got money, I'm so in love with you, honey. Everything is just a chain of love. You don't have a fur coat, you're not Melania, there's no point. I'm in this to win. I'm not in this to just come away with a tombstone in the ground, where the planes are landing at the airport. If I haven't even been on enough of those planes, I love being on airplanes. I'm an airplane person. I love being on airplanes. Grant Cardone talks about flying around in a private jet to pick up money. When I saw those private jets looking down on, so this is, again, they give us a deuce during peak hours early in the morning like this, double decker for the older bus. But these buses normally are used just for the deuce. So I was looking down. I was on the bottom level, so I was looking out the window, but we're passing by that Welcome to Fabulous Las Vegas, the historic, all that Elvis Presley crap. We watched the Sheryl Crow video, which it was a very, this is the tail end, actually one of the last, it said on the bottom of it, A&M record. It's like Burt Bacharach, that's Tijuana Brad. That was over. After that was from early 90s, and Sheryl Crow's leaving Las Vegas, and you know who that guy is. So much meaning in the picture. And basically what that was about is there's no sex in Vegas, and she's flicking her bean in her apartment as a poor girl having deal cards. But all right, then for some people, leaving Las Vegas is just a dream. So for me, it's not going to be. I'm not going to endorse watch this video. Protect me from Illuminati. Don't let me be incinerated alive in crematoriums. Just across, it's where you wake up and you end up walking past all of that, like a Walking Dead, and it's like there's kind of beautiful symbolism to it. And it can be very good, like it's Illuminati. It's not that one is good, but you choose sides. And if even just one person cares enough about you, they can't incinerate you alive in the crematorium. There's some people that deserve to be incinerated or alive in a crematorium, and that isn't me. So if I meet enough people, so we're gonna be knocking on doors, we're gonna be talking to people. I remember I had to be hooked up with it. Just I ended up being like too sickly to do it. Man, you gotta get out there. You gotta do it, especially with work starting on Thursday. Don't let me be killed in the John Wick experience. So if even just one person cares enough about you, shouldn't you value your slave number then, your social security number, because that enables the police to protect you. But if you're strong enough, not only do you not need those protections work against you. The point is to get me strong enough, and that's why we're going to run the LA Marathon. We don't want to be doing it as an age runner, so let's get strong and let's be there for it. What I wanted to say was that that a lot of the, and I'm talking about my scope. We talked a little bit about my story, but take that off the table for a second. These are things we need to be on the lookout for, which is that what they're using these legal cases for a lot of people is psychology has made an unholy alliance with the criminal justice system. And all of it is just, they're scam. They're all complete con artists. But I was going to say that Dr. Crellin at Stein, she had this white, but she's good for this smell. And I would have totally bent her over and licked inside her ass. And she had this, diamond ring on her finger. What does that mean if you got money? So get me some money so I can spread those ass cheeks apart and smell her filth. And that's what she was good for. She wore this white coat. She's not a doctor. She's not a medical doctor. So if you can tell the difference, unlike Mark Zuckerberg, she knows the organo, she knows the polymer chain, and she knows the metabolite, all that stuff of, metabolite and hematol. So the stuff of Grey's Anatomy. And, you got to know just enough to pick the brain, but they want to keep you medicated and dull so that you can take a fake. No, if you're a fake like me, but you think correctly, you get an authentic. We gotta change culture, because already the reason why my penis wasn't finding expression in the genius women, my genius penis was being shut down by evil forces. So again, Illuminati, pick me, choose me, and fight back again so that we burn other people in a crematorium alive instead of me being burned in a crematorium alive, because I should be the winner. I think when I meet you and I shake your hand, I knock on your door, you're gonna meet me, you're gonna see incredible things about me, you're gonna say more than just what have I got to lose by siding with this guy and caring about him and helping him run the marathon. That they're going to say, and you're going to say, it's going to be an incredible thing. And I think having this guy and knowing this guy is a thing that's going to be really good for me. It's going to be really good for my family, and we're going to go places. And I don't care what Illuminati, he's Illuminati, but this Illuminati, that whatever it is, it's low-level thing, keeping people under at 30-year home lows, that you have to have a local culture, and you have to live under it, and you have to have your children and orgasm to your rape experience, because you're not Donald Trump, but look what he does for you. I'm not okay with that. I'm gonna tighten my balls up, clench my asshole together, and suck his energy. And it's kind of what Spencer Pratt was teaching us with the black handshake. It's another way to do it. It's a little more of an open way to do it, but if you're going to do all that bioenergetic stuff of Alexander Lowen and narcissism, denial of the true self, you have to deny your true self if you're not Donald Trump. If you're not Donald Trump, if you're not a multi-billionaire, if you're not worth $5 billion, if you're not worth $10 billion, if you're not Elon Musk, you need to come up with an idea that has this historic thing where you've got X on these penises, and that's not your penis. If you're not these people, then you're not of that value. You have to deny your true self. How could your parents have done this to you? And how can I do this to my children? So I'm going to raise them as Donald Trump, and I don't care what he says. And you're going to protect me to do that because we have freedom, and your parents can raise you in. And we learned our lesson, and the lesson is, I'm who's fucking wiped up. So they're using these cases to try to bring people into reality, because so think about it, in order to become this rich, you have to literally be incompetent. Because it's not a competent thing, because the DSM and what psychologists say is according to cultural norm, and it's not culturally normal or normative. That's why, as much as I talked about when I'm my Republican governor character, and I am. This is my political platform. It's a winning political platform, especially for white. If someone takes it and runs with it, ultimate justice, get excited about the death penalty, and I've got the trademark for ultimate justice, my machine we run them through in a Coliseum, and that's why I thought here in Vegas, I've got to get these videos done today about the Republican platform, because the 100,000 plus seat arena that is Allegiant Stadium, I was imagining Steve Sisolak when he was governor, we're going to clear the queue. We're not going to, LBRJ had an article about that we have to, we just admit we don't want to do it anymore, get rid of the death penalty, commute their sentences to life in prison. No, we're going to clear the queue. Ultimate justice. Matthew says, my service mark, my trademark, ultimate, I'm the administrator, I'm the warden, but I'm the officiator, what's it called? ultimate, just like UFC, like WWE, like what is it called? The president of NFL, Roger Goodell, the commissioner of ultimate justice. And so there's an execution machine I came up with, and we're going to talk about that in one of the videos. Say that we can run the inmate through, and it's a machine. It's like justice. It's a slow process. No, this axe is done. It's ultimate. It's gonna be there's run through a tree mulcher. It's incredible tree mulcher, and they come out on a piece of paper that's hung up at the between the goalposts at Allegiant Stadium, and they got it on because Allegiant Stadium has. That's why I want to build my Aloha Stadium with 80,000 plus seats. I'm gonna say it. I changed my mind. It's wishy-washy. We're gonna have 100,000 plus seat arena in Hawaii. So I digress. What was I getting? Oh yeah, that they're trying to use these cases just really to make a bullshit about people. I'm not talking about myself. I'm not saying I'm not talking about myself, but I'm saying that I'm not talking about myself to where take me off the table. I'm not making some personal anecdotal, value-laden, charged with personal. I don't like this. I don't like that. I don't like these people. I don't like this DA. I don't like this prosecutor. I don't like. It's none of that. And this is not pretend I have no conflict of interest. And this is just stuff from general reality. That what the multi-billionaires be trying to do is try to deprogram. Like, be grateful. Look, you get this Deuce. You're Illuminati, and who isn't? Yeah, we know it's bullshit. We know what the cross is used for. Your crosses are the 3 crosses across California. Who knows? Maybe you'll pick up enough money from work to get a real estate license in California, become California broker, and all that reciprocity. Come back to Nevada, go in. Arizona's one of those that are kind of like Hawaii. They didn't think reciprocity. Into Utah. Just be grateful for it, because if we're not grateful for it, we're gonna put you in jail. But think about it. You gotta be nuts to get as rich as Donald Trump if you don't have parents that are trying to break you in, which is why I'm going to bring my kids in to Illuminati and being celebrities, being stars, and have cameras in their face. But because it's in their genes, like it's in my genes to be famous, get attention, be famous, get out there, meet people, always be the center of attention, be on the news all the time. And that's what I was doing for the cops. I was like, do they know what victims they are? They're just enforcing their own poverty on everybody else. Choose the right side. Serving TPOs on people. It's all just, even though we ain't got money, I'm so in love with you, honey. But you're insane, so I'm going to file a TPO against you. And they're keeping broke losers away from beautiful white women's money, when what they're doing is only hurting themselves because they're broke too. And they've had to raise the cop pay a little bit, especially in metropolitan areas, 60,000, 75,000, even approaching 100,000 for people that are rank officers or whatever, and for special operations. Okay, but that's a 6-figure. I mean, we're not talking 6 figures like 900,000. We're talking 6 figures like 109,000. You're broke too. You're broke. And you're doing this to your own. It's like, by the black on black, the cop on robber. It's the same issue, really, and sad thing. But I digress. So the only instance in which you have to be forced into sanity to not be Donald Trump is if you're in a legal case where now you have to be sane to get out of it. You see what I'm saying? Because the way that the system is structured, and I don't have a lot of time to talk about it more. We'll expand on it later, but basically these are things we have to be on the lookout for. Is that they're trying to stop people that are meant to be ultra famous, ultra wealthy, and to raise their children to be that way too, and just dominate from winning. They're trying to stop people from being winners.